Why do I feel like I'm the guy that's got a bone to pick with YouTube here? Well, we got some super thanks to thank for. Earl Moorhead, super thanks from him on the Eisenhower truck video. We got Michael Van Kirk, $2, super thanks from the running video. We've got the Cheap Needle Scaler, Sleek Hobbies 88. Dude, I appreciate that. Michael Van Kirk, $2. I'm not sure what that's from. I appreciate it there, brother. Jeremy Stewart, man, just because he likes the channel and misses a good live. Definitely appreciate that. And looks like JP Stewart, we got the grinder fund. And then the beefy little box. Definitely appreciate that, man. Now on to the show.
Why is it sideways? Is it recording what? Dude, it won't even give me the stinking preview anyway. Basically just working on this truck. And I am realizing how much of an absolute maintenance hog this thing is. It's an absolutely great truck, but dude, this thing is a maintenance hog. And if you don't keep up with the maintenance of this truck, you're gonna cost yourself probably a couple pretty pennies because this is a Losi. So anyways, this is rcguygarage, and just gonna show you a couple of very minor modifications that I've made to this thing just from noticing, driving it, and how it's a maintenance hog. I'm gonna try and reduce some of that maintenance. Very, very simple. I'm sure it's been addressed before on other vehicles with this style of link or a lower arm setup. Yeah, it's just super basic, but here you go. Inside of there, which hopefully you can see down in there, in that pocket down in there, maybe if I shine a light down, and inside of there, you can see there's dirt right there. So the dirt was packing up in both sides. So the other side is already clean. If you look inside of there, the other side is clean now. Clean the shocks just by wiping them down. And also I pulled out the slave shock. Pulled out that slave shock, which is just the additional dampener. This one that's right here on that other side. So obviously you've got the regular shock with the spring, and then you've got that slave damper that I call it. Pulled out the other side, took it all apart. I took actually the whole axle hub and everything, like literally all apart, checked the bearings, checked inside this axle tube right here. Again, this had debris in it. It had debris in it, and that was only from what? 2 battery packs? That's called a maintenance hog, dude. If you've literally got to pull this damn thing apart after every couple of packs, that's no good, man. That shows that how much flex that this thing is having, which is why you probably would buy, if this was your main truck and you really cared about it, and you didn't want to do all this maintenance, it's that, like, super crazy balance, man. What are you giving up if you go ahead and get a rigid made axle, something that's made out of metal versus something that's made out of flexible plastic? When it's in the flexible plastic, at least it flexes. But then there's always like that give and take. It flexes, which allows debris to get inside, but it also makes it so that other things don't transfer that energy all the way throughout. And is it really going to make a difference? So anyways, what I did is I drilled a couple holes. I drilled a larger hole there, and I drilled a smaller hole in there because this this piece right here, that is a separate little pocket, and these two share the same hole themselves, so that's why it's got a larger hole. And where the hole is placed, it's at that lower section. So yeah, took this all apart. Like I said, I found more debris inside of here. That was all cleaned out the last run, or the last whatever. You get what I'm saying. An absolute maintenance hog, man. Dude, I just want a full trigger. I just want to get out there and just rip a car. I don't want to have to maintenance something every 5 seconds, man. I also did address the axle here. This, believe it or not, is actually off of my Traxxas E-Revo. Traxxas E-Revo, like, what is it? It was the one with the brushed motors, the Titan twin motors. I stole the lug nut off of that because that's all I had. I didn't have any M4 nuts. This one is fine. This is not the one that has the issue because of the way the threads go. The other side is the side that has the issue. It seems like when this thing is on 3S, that's when I'm experiencing the issue, because even the stock tires, and these aren't the stock tires, they are literally the same exact thing. It's a very shallow hex, and this hex right here is actually pretty beefy. So I think we're not using all of the hex on either of these wheels. Now, what I should do is I should measure the depth just to see if there is a depth change. Kind of almost looks like there is. Kind of almost looks like there is. So this does have a little bit of a depth change, where this one is not as deep, I'm thinking. I'm going to go ahead and grab my calipers and check it out. Like I was saying, while I do like the style of these wheels, if this is the style of wheel that I'm supposed to run, man, dude, it's such a give and take, man. So I'm just going to go grab my caliper and I'm going to measure these out. So if this wheel is using more of the hex, that may be the wheel that I have to go with. So put my thing on there, zero it out, make sure it's at 0, 0, and I'm just going to measure the depth of this one first. So we're coming in at 3.55 or 3.56. Come over to this one, re-zero it out, open it up, and then bring it down. 3.71. So it is using slightly more hex. Not a huge difference, but versus... it's not enough, dude. It's really not enough. Every kind of bit, I guess, helps. And I suppose maybe that could be deformed, but I don't really think so. When the lug nut or wheel nut got lost, and I had looked at the wheel, you know, on site, it looked like it was fine. When in reality, though, you gotta know it's not fine. So the very edge or the very end, it did get rounded out. I did kind of address that with that wheel. It's reinstalled, it's got Loctite, and it's got the new lug nut on it. This one I'm gonna go ahead and, man, I'm looking at this thing, it's already looks like it's rounded out. So those don't look like flats, and this isn't a wheel that's fallen off either. So you can see what I did is I did tape up the holes. I did the same thing on that side, and then I took my little thing here. This is just brake line, and what I do is I flare out the inside after I buzz the outside to kind of taper it, to give it a nice sharp edge. What it does is you can run it with a drill, and you just basically poke a couple holes, just like what Arrma did. So this tire's got 4 holes. I think that tire's got 2 holes. I gotta tell you, man, the amount of sand that came out of here was very surprising. The sand is obviously coming from, I want to say, more like the rear wheels. Obviously the rear end is planted, so it's kind of like digging more. There's a lot less weight on the front end. All of the weight is transferred to the back in a sense. And then obviously when the car is steering, the opposite side is firing debris basically right at the inside of this. And if this is spinning, it's opening up, which is also pulling the foam away from the inside of the rim. See what I'm saying? Bad kind of design on certain things, because this wheel is going to do the same exact thing. So unless you like glue a piece of screen, which I think would be dumb, unless you glued like a piece of screen on there or something, I wouldn't recommend plugging up the holes. But yeah, maybe go ahead and grab yourself one of these things and just yeah, I might cut up a bunch of these and just put them on the website, because I mean, it is kind of a pain in the neck. I mean, it's not hard to make these, but maybe I should just make them available. What, $5? Dude, it probably costs $10 for the entire, like, what is it, 10 feet of line. And I could probably make like 100 of them. Whatever, dude, I just gotta figure it out. So maybe you might see these little devices on the website. You just gotta obviously supply your own drill. And then again, if you've got your own drill, come on, guy, you can make your own one of these. It looks like a bullet. It's not a bullet, guy. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just work on this truck. I just figured I'd take you along, man. I'm down here just kind of being to myself. My wife is chilling right now because she had surgery. Everything's fine. Everything's good. It's just something that she had to have done, and but she's good. So let's just focus on this thing and show you what I'm coming across with this truck. Not really a big deal, but it's the amount of maintenance, I guess, that's involved with this thing. So having yourself one of these, you know, style of drivers. This is a Ryobi little Tech 4 thing. It's pretty cool. I do wish these lights stayed like kind of like illuminated kind of deal. You know, you let off the trigger and the lights kind of slowly fade. Or if you like just buzz to the trigger, but that's not how this particular one works. It only works when you're activated, which is kind of a pain, so. But yeah, I'm just gonna go after these. So 2mm, or is it 2.5? 2mm. 2mm and needle nose on the back side here. Like I said, the amount of dirt that came out of here was insane. This is actually one of the ones that has not been used. This is a fresh one. So this one, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe that's that side. But you can hear that sand in there. It keeps coming out of the holes, and once this truck gets driven, all the sand will kind of evacuate out of these areas. 2mm up here. Make sure I'm in reverse. And grab that with a needle nose. Whoa! So these two screws are the same length. This screw right here is the shorter length. That is for the sway bar end link. So remember, when you're putting this stuff together, don't crank down on this plastic. You'll deform it. And you don't want to bind the components that you're putting in here. While we're right here, gonna go ahead and grab that one. Same thing. Now I'm just gonna check the length of this screw. So that length is the same. So this one, and this one, all three of these are the same. So all these back ones are the same. This is just the shorter one. So then there's another one right here. We're gonna go ahead and get that. That one is captured on the inside. So provided that you don't push down too hard, you'll be able to just take this right out. Just like that. Then, go ahead and pop this out, and you should probably see some sand come out, I'm thinking. I'll try and capture it in my hand. Ah, all the sand and dirt coming out. So the shock is really jammed in there because of all the debris and dirt that's stuck in there. Wow. That is really stuffed in there. I'm gonna have to pry it out. Wow, that is jammed. Big time jammed in there. Now see all that debris in there? That's a very small amount compared to what was actually in there. This whole thing was basically capped off. The only area that was free was where we were getting minimal movement. So what it does is it wears down on the components when the stuff is like that. Now, I'm going to do something that you can see it. Look at that. So that's where the shock was sitting. So what I'm saying, right, is watch when I do this. This is all mud, dude. Look at that. It's all diamond dust mud in there. Look at that. Look how much more debris was in there. And there's still a ton up in that front, and that's that other pocket I was talking about. Look at that. That's why I'm saying this thing is a maintenance hog, dude. This thing is a wicked maintenance. Look at all the dirt, dude, that came out of this thing. So that's why I did those holes there. But this one I'm going to leave alone. If I leave it alone, it'll kind of give it like that test to see if I've lost strength. You know, obviously drilling the holes, it does lose a certain amount of strength, but it's that give and take, man. So are you better off doing relief holes to be able to evacuate the dirt? Is the dirt gonna more get in there because now the dirt from the front is being shoveled, and then as it compresses and hits the, just, see what I'm saying? It's not gonna hit the ground, but I think the dirt's gonna fire into those holes, but we'll see. I cleaned all in here. This actually was all clean. See, this is bound up because of the dirt that's in there, or the silt. Now I'm just gonna I'm gonna leave it because I feel just the actuation of movement is what's gonna free this up. I think I'll do some street driving with it a little bit. I'll do some street driving to kind of free up these components. But I do want to get the debris out of this, at least. And if this works out where the holes work, I'll just do the same thing to this one. Like seriously, look at all the crap. Look at all the crap that's coming out of there, dude. Wicked. Wicked maintenance, I almost used the wrong word. Wicked maintenance pig. That's fine now. Shock feels okay. The other shock I did add some fluid. This one yeah, I don't know. That'll be a different video. These are fine. It's all kind of cleaned up in there. It's better. So just make sure you put that. So it's got the 1-2 in the diamond. That hole obviously goes forward. You usually take a driver and put it in there just to align it, and the driver will kind of pop through the end. This makes aligning these screws easier sometimes. That's really frozen. That link is frozen. That's not good. It's just that silt that gets in there. Look at that. Just freed up. That diamond dust. So, shorter screw for that one. Still want it to be too tight. Yeah, that's fine. The alignment of these holes isn't very easy. Freed up a little bit. Boy, these really don't like to go into the pockets, man. Yeah, they don't really like to go in the pockets at all. Holy crap. A lot of movement right there. So I was going to pull this off while I'm here. Pop the hex out of its little slot. That's fine. Then they can take and rotate the disc kind of out. That seems fine. There's a little spacer here. You can see debris get stuck in behind that. This has got that 3-degree. I already did clean down the threads with the SKYRC RC industrial grade electrical cleaner and degreaser. So those threads are all cleaned down. I'm going to go ahead and just pop this just to see how we're looking inside of here, because the other side had a bit of debris, and like I said, this is only what, 2 battery packs? Might not even be a full 2 because I lost the wheel nut. So let's just pop this out. Okay, and there's debris in there, man. Look at it. It's not a lot, but it's gonna add up. It's all along this little pocket. There's debris. Now granted, it's okay because the bearing is kind of what seals it out, but there's still, the whole point is, there's still debris getting inside of there that could eventually wear this out. And I mean, these things are beefy. I think that's, look at that, dude. This was totally clean. Here, show you here. This was totally clean. There was none of this sand and grit in there. Maintenance hog, dude. Yeah, you can definitely see all the debris in there. A stand. Let's see if you can see inside of that hole there. Yeah, look at all the debris in there. That's terrible. It's almost like you'd have to vacuum it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it kind of down and see if I can get some paper towel in there or something. Kind of clean that out. That is a lot. See, this is just going to push it down. That's no good. That's going to require taking that whole thing apart. I ain't taking that again. No way. Nope. Not going to do it. Having an episode over here? What the hell's going on? What I will do is, like I did before, is I do take a couple of drops. It's like literally 2 drops of shock oil. 1, 2, about. And for me, what that does is just keeps the inside, I guess, lubricated. Shove the shaft through. I will re-clean these threads before I put thread lock on them, because right now technically I've compromised the threads by doing that. So I'll take some of this Moo Clean stuff here, and I'll spray that off. Take the drive shaft, shove that back in place. Put this back in place. And rotate that because it's keyed. Good. Should that settle down and then. Good. Put that little spacer on, and it looks like the spacer is the same both ways, so that little flange section looks like it's the same going both ways. Put that on, take this on, take this, put this back on, just like that, and then we'll go ahead and put the hex back on. The hex is one way. You have a larger opening on one side with a stepped flange, and then you have a smaller hole on the other side. Just going to make sure you line up the hole with the hole. Like that. Pull that through. We'll take the small 1.5 and line that up just like that. And I can prepare this. I don't need to put thread lock on this. Looks like they may have had it, but it doesn't really need to be on there. At least I haven't found it needs to be on there. So now we'll take the already prepped wheel and throw that on. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get a little bit of that degreaser on here. I already did degrease this, so this will be fine. But I did also use the Bob Smith's Ultra Cure. This side really doesn't need Loctite because it doesn't spin off. So because everything's clean, I'm just going to go ahead and install it without any Loctite. It's the other side that really needs it in reality. Not too tight. Feels good. So anyway, this is RC Dude, I'm laughing because I can literally feel this GoPro 10 heating up. If you're considering buying a GoPro 10, don't. Just get the Hero 7 Black. I've got like 5 of the 7 Blacks, and I rarely have issue like I've got issue with this damn camera. It ain't worth it, man. Having this little front screen, you don't need it. You already know you're in frame. Once you figure it out, it's a GoPro. It's got the fisheye lens. You're in frame almost no matter what. So don't buy a Hero 10. Garbage. 7 Black. Buy a 7 Black. I know nothing about the 11 or the 12. Just don't buy a 10, man. Totally useless, man. They took my money. Alright, so anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and this is just showing you that this truck, at least right now, the rear axle, is an absolute maintenance hog. So, yeah. I'm not out today because of the storm, but anyways, yeah. I do want to thank, yeah. So, in the beginning of the video, obviously, I don't know if you saw it, but I injected or I put the super chat or the super thanks that people have been putting on the videos. I definitely appreciate it, but I really want you to think about it, okay? The tough part is I get that you want to support the channel in that way. I definitely appreciate it, but I want you to keep in mind is that YouTube is literally taking 30% of what you donate, and that is rough, man. It's just not cool. It's not cool. It's cool you want to support, but man, I just can't seem to justify you guys spending your money, your hard-earned money, giving to the channel to support it. Like I said, I appreciate it. Don't take this the wrong way, but man, like, let's just say $100 bill, right? 70 of that will go to me. 30 of it goes to YouTube. For what? They're already getting the ad revenue from just literally the ads that you guys had to suffer through. And then on top of that, you're giving them a 30% drop. Like I said, don't think I don't appreciate it. I do. It's a tough pill to swallow when 30% of your creation or 30% of what you guys are donating to is going to a company that's already banking it. So I'm not out. What are you doing?